Okay, good morning. This is your reading. I did the shuffling, laid out the cards. I actually did the reading already, and so this is my impressions based on my intuition and the cards, what the cards say. So, the first card that you got was the Ten of Air, which is this card right there. And the Ten of Air talks about worries about finances. It was covered by the Eight of Air, which talks about feeling trapped. This card, the Sun card, was the bottom of the deck of your reading after I finished laying out all the cards. Now the Sun card gives me an idea of what the overall theme of this reading is, and I'm getting a sense that this has to do with legal concerns, embezzlement, theft, child support issues. And since we don't know each other, and so I'm gonna just read it as I see it, okay? So anyway, this says that you feel like you're not in control of the events that are happening regarding your finances. But even though you're not in charge, even though you're not in control of it, you are subject to whatever the consequences are. And it's something that you can't escape or dodge. So, if it's not a situation where someone on your job has been cooking the books or putting money in places that it doesn't need to be or shouldn't be, then this may be about child support. The third card that came up in the reading was the element of water. Okay? And since you are a Cancer, this is your card. This is speaking to you. So, it says that it's upside down. This is what it would look like right side up, right? So this is upside down. So it talks about feeling of instability. And also, while I'm at it also talks about lack of proper nutrition. You seem to need to be more careful about what you're eating, and I would advise you to go see a doctor. You may have problems with your kidneys or something like that, so you need to see your doctor immediately or as soon as possible. The next card that you got was the Five of Fire. Five of Fire talks about a struggle. It talks about a struggle. It talks about using your charm and your wit to fight fire with fire, whatever this legal situation is. But you can't let yourself be corrupted. In other words, don't go along with anybody who's giving you advice about lying, denying, trying to put money in places so that it doesn't look like you have enough money to pay the child support, if that's what it is. Don't do that. Don't be dishonest. Don't allow yourself to be corrupted. This card is above you, and this is the female issue. Female issue. Now, in Yoruba, which is the tradition on which these cards are based, because these are not your typical everyday tarot cards, right? These are based on the African tradition of the Orisha and Yoruba and Ifa. Ifa is the religion, it's the divination system. And Yoruba is the people, culture. So, in Yoruba, an Eshu is the crossroads, the person who, the deity, the entity that opens up our paths. And when we get to a crossroads, they show us our choices. The female issue is the feminine energy of that. And she is flirty. She is about love and about opening up pathways for the feminine, with a feminine energy. In this reading, this card being above you is telling me that the thing that's standing in your path, or the thing that's in your mind, the thing that's consuming you, or that's coloring the way you're looking at this reading, has something to do with a female. So again, if this is about child support, maybe this is the woman that is the mother of the child or the children that this child support issue may be about. It's not child support, it may be visitation and custody. But because this has to do with finances, this is talking about finances, to me, I would say it would be about child support court. Now, this card here, the Two of Earth. This card here is the Two of Earth, right? And this speaks about someone who you're maybe getting advice from, or that you're hearing their opinion about. It may be a uncle, a father, a grandfather, someone you look up to, someone who is an authority. He's a pretty stubborn person. He has a quick temper. He's, goes back and forth. He can be in two places simultaneously, it seems. And he can start something, and then after a while he will back down and sit back. He's protector of the home, protector of the family. Okay, so like, the elder statesman, the paternal figure in the family, and he's giving you some advice that may not be the best, but he's coming from it from a different perspective, I guess, because he's an older person. The next card that you got was enslaved prisoner, and this is how you're feeling. You're worried about gossip. You're worried about defamation of character. You're worried about being lied on and unfair prosecution. The next card that you got, the Three of Fire. Okay? And you have a strong spirit. You are charming. There are influential people around you. But you have to be careful of those behind the scenes who are trying to poison the seeds in the well. So there's a lot of talk going on, maybe, or a lot of testimony or evidence that's being submitted that is not putting you in the best light. And the next card is the Babalao, okay? A Babalao is like a priest, okay, in the Yoruba tradition. He is the high priest everybody goes to fix things. And in this reading, this would be representing the judge. And the judge is a human being too. They hear what's going on. They hear all of the evidence that's being presented. They also live in the community, and they may even have an opinion about your culpability in this situation or your guilt. But you must speak the truth, because only in speaking the truth will you be protected from evil, making the situation worse than it already is. The next card you have here is the three of water. I'm sorry, the two of water, which is reversed. So this is what it looks like in the upright position, and this is what it looks like the way it came up reversed in your reading. Okay, so it says that things appear calm, but there are things going on underneath the surface. The card talks about tears, violence, imprisonment. Now, the last card that you got was, well, the last card in this spread was the Four of Water. Again, it's talking about do not collaborate with others to be deceitful, and consider your actions in regards to accepting what you should have rejected. So, I don't know if you are disputing paternity. I don't know if that's an issue. You could also talk about me just saying that you shouldn't have gotten yourself in this situation to begin with. That you're responsible for your own actions, and that you're living with the consequences of your actions. It tells me also that if this is about child support, and this woman, who's maybe the mother, or the woman that's in this, the mother of the children, you still find her attractive. And she knows that. You may not be telling anybody else, but you do still find her attractive, and she's going to use that against you. She holds the key to your future in this situation, because this is talking about your money, right? And you have an image that you're trying to uphold. You try to appear as if you have it all together. And outwardly, it looks to people that you do. But you're trying to make it look as if you don't have things together, but you don't want to spoil your image, because you really don't have things together. You really are worried about this. This really is going to make a dent in your lifestyle. But you're still portraying your image as if you have no cares in the world, like you're not worried about it, when in actuality you are. This is about you not being careful with your money, and you not balancing your checkbook. It says that you do have a tendency to look down on people and think that you're superior. And this is kind of embarrassing. This is like a little blow to your image and your ego. It's also talking about being responsible and being seeing a doctor about your health and your nutrition. You have to watch what you're eating. You're obviously not eating the right way. I don't know, the Spirit's talking to me about maybe diverticulosis. It's a disease that, like, you have to be careful when you eat seeds and beans and things, because it gets stuck in your intestinal tract, and it can be very painful. And I know the word, but I'm just not getting it right now. That's a possibility of what it's saying. You might want to do a cleanse, but at the same time, I think that you need to see a doctor and have them check you out and test you, see what's going on. The Sun card at the end of this reading also tells me that you are going to come, it's all going to work out well. You're going to be victorious, successful at the end of this situation, ultimately. It also tells me that this situation may involve 2 children or twins, maybe a boy and a girl. For some reason, I'm getting that this is so if it's twins, there's definitely a lot more at stake, because twins, are additional child support than it normally would be, right? I think it goes up to 24% if it's twins or more than one child, and I think it's 19% if it's one child. So if it's twins, then you really are concerned and worried, or if it's more than one child that you have with this woman. Or you may have other children that you're paying child support to, and this is just an additional child or children, and your finances are being stretched to the limit. But at the end of the day, you have to be honest when you go in front of the judge, because if not, you're going to find yourself in a whole heap of trouble. It's also telling me in this reading that there may have been some violence between yourself and the woman. You may have got, okay, I got the sense, the Spirit said to me that at some point there was some violence. There may have been an arrest made. They may have, you may have been in prison for a short period of time, and during that time you weren't working, but your child support payments were still incurring. And so when you got out, you had accrued some back child support, and that may be something that you can't see yourself getting over, because you can't get on top of it with the income that you have now. And so maybe that's why they're saying that this woman holds the key to your future, because if she presses charges, or if she and you get into the dispute and causes you to act out again, the judge will hear about it, and it's not going to be favorable to your case. So, you have to work on not speaking disrespectfully or in an aggressive manner to her or anybody connected with this case. You could even think about apologizing to her in the front of the court being the judge, and apologizing to the court also. I pulled some more cards so I could get further clarification on some of these issues. So what I did is I used the regular tarot cards and asked them to clarify what is happening. So this is how it came out. I turned them down just so that I could show you what the initial reading was with the Orisha cards. But this is what I got when I did clarification of these cards. And you got the King of Pentacles, and you got the Ace of Swords upside down with this woman in the middle. So what it's telling me is that this is about money, and again, she is in the middle of it. and she controls what she can control what's going to happen here. The Ace of Swords reverse talks about a delay. And this is the Ace of Swords in the right upright position, and this is it in the reverse position. So in the upright position is victory. In the reverse position, it's a slow victory. It's a delay in victory. King of Pentacles. This is talking about money, okay? But you got it. This is the way it would look in the upright position. All right, this is a man who is on top of his game and he's in control of his money. But in reverse, you get the opposite. Someone who is worried about his money and not really on top of his game. Then I did clarification on this card here, this other energy, this older person that's maybe giving you advice or talking stuff in the back about your situation. And then I got these two cards, which are the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. And they were both in the upright position. Behind this older person who's insinuating his opinion into your business. These two cards, the Ace of Swords and the King of Pentacles, talks about a male, maybe in his 30s or close, 35 years older, brown hair or hazel eyes, brown eyes or hazel eyes. He could be a gambler. He could also be talking about this older man, who is stubborn. But it could also be talking about you, stubborn. The Four and the Five, to me, talked about two children, twins maybe, a boy and a girl. Again, there's ultimately success in this situation, but you have to be truthful, you have to tell the truth. You have to use the tools. The Babalao card talks about having all the tools to make the right decision or to make the right moves. You have the tools. You know people of influence in the community, and you have the tools that you need to present yourself in a positive manner when you go in front of the judge. It's also could be talking about probation reports. So that's another thing. If there were a situation where you did end up having to address charges about a situation that was harassment or violence, then there may be a probation report that will be presented to the judge. You have to not be aggressive when you speak to these people, the probation officer, parole officer, whatever, any counselors, social workers, anybody that is intervening on the behalf of this situation, either be it on the defense or on the prosecution side, you have to present a better image than what has been portrayed already. If this is not about child support, if this has to do with your job, your business, you have no control over what's going on. They may be being investigated for embezzlement. Maybe somebody's gambling, moving money around to places it shouldn't be, or places that are not being accounted for in the proper way. So if this is more about business than it is about child support, again, you have the victory at the end of the day, but only if you can be truthful. Now, I'm not talking about snitching, but there's a line between snitching and telling the truth. And if you're going to not tell the truth and take a hit, you're going to be the only one taking the hit. You're going to be the one who gets imprisoned or put on probation or have to pay the fine, or in other words, everything's going to come down on you because other people are not being honest or telling the whole story about your involvement in this situation, and they're going to let it fall on you. So, you're feeling trapped, like you have no way out because you don't want to be the snitch, but it might be in your best interest to see how you can protect your interests and tell the truth. This it talks about being locked in a cage, and that is what you're worried about. So you're either worried about imprisonment, or you're worried about your finances being affected so negatively in regards to child support issues that you feel like everything's gonna fall apart. And your other children, if you have other children, are going to do without and going to be in want. But again, this card is saying that you need to step up to the plate and take responsibility for your actions. You should have thought about this before you got involved with this person there. And like I said, you're still attracted to her. You're still attracted to her. And she can use that against you. But because you have charm, because you can be charming, you need to dial it back. Be respectful of her. Be respectful of the court. And be respectful of yourself. Admit to your mistakes. You can be honest with the judge. You can tell the judge that you messed up. You can tell the judge that this was not your intention. You have to find a way, if you haven't done it already, to ensure that these children, any of them, are definitely your children. Get that taken care of if you haven't already. If you have any reason to suspect that they're not, I would look into that. But if they are your children, you have to step up to the plate and you have to do the right thing, because this story will be told about you and it's not going to look good to your community, to your family, your children, and to yourself. So, at the end of this reading, and when I do readings, I try to consult these oracle cards. And these are the romance oracle cards. And even though this is not really about romance, it does give messages and advice that may shed some light on what's going on here and how to go forward. Up. This card said retreat. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I'm going to read the book that comes with it, which is the Romance Angels Oracle Guidebook. And these cards, created by Doreen Virtue. And the Orisha cards that I was using earlier, they are created by Zorlok and Durkhan, and it's called the Tarot of the Orishas by Zorlok and Durkhan, and it's published by Llewellyn Books. And you can feel free to check those books out if you'd like. So let's see what retreat means and how it would fit in the scenario. Okay, the romance angels see that your love life blossoms as you spend time alone with your partner or by yourself. It seems you become confused or conflicted by other people's advice. And it's time for you to disconnect so you can better hear your own feelings and opinions. Okay, so again, this person here, this old guy, or people like that around you in your life, you need to stop listening to them. They're not giving you good advice. If you're in a partnership, which if this is your job, it could be considered your work as a partnership, or maybe you're partners with another person who may be doing bad things under the, under the scenes, and it's going to end up falling on your shoulders. And the partner maybe your partner is a woman. Maybe your partner, your business partner, is a woman. And she knows that you're attracted to her. And that's how she's using her feminine wiles, so to speak, and your attractiveness to her, the fact that you're attracted to her, to try to get herself out of this situation and put the blame on you. So she's going to play the damsel in distress, maybe, and make everyone think that you're the one who was cooking the books or moving money around that you shouldn't have been. Maybe she's the person who's been doing the gambling and investing or not investing or skimming money off the top. Okay. This may mean that you need to take a vacation or a long drive. Turn off your phones and your computer. It also talks about an engagement that may be coming up, a wedding that you could be attending, a renewal of vows. But this also talks about, if you're presently single, this card guides you to spend more time by yourself, meditating upon your true feelings and your thoughts. Be sure to take action based on any intuitive guidance. This will strengthen your energy, which helps you attract and manifest success. So as I said, you need to do some praying, okay? You need to spend some time alone by yourself, and you really need to think about what's going on around you. Stop listening to the advice of others, especially old men or grouchy old guys that may be around you. Again, it might be an uncle, a brother, a father, grandfather, someone around you who is a little bit of a grouch. Ignore his advice. And if you have attorneys, lawyers, public advocates, people who are giving you advice, listen closely, but with the understanding that you know the truth yourself. and you want to be honest. You want to take the high road in this situation. Protect yourself and your interests, but also being honest, being true, and taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for your children and for your family. They talk about, throwing yourself on the mercy of the court. It's that type of a situation. If you don't feel like you want to just say off the top of your head, you can write down a statement that you can read to the court. In either of these situations, whether it be child support, visitation, or business, you can write a statement to the court and you can ask for permission to read it. And you can take responsibility. You can apologize to the court or to the mother of the children if this is involving a child support issue. But you can lay out your case, admit to your shortcomings in this situation, and ask the court to be merciful and to work with you. If you're in arrears, see if you can use your charm to make a deal with the mother to lower the rate of pay for the back arrearage, if that's possible. But you have to come in there putting on your best face. And all factors that would be on your side, positive, that you need to show to the court. So you also need to come off your high horse also. And you need to be honest about what your financial situation really, really is. And meditate on this and learn, see what lessons you need to learn from this episode, from this situation in your life. Again, you need to go see the doctor, see about your health. And you need to pray, you need to meditate, take time for yourself, block out all the noise from other people with all of their sage advice, and listen to your intuition. Ask your ancestors, ask your spirit guides to help you, to protect you when you go into court, to keep you from being imprisoned, literally or financially, by the decision that the judge makes in this case. So anyway, dear, I hope that this reading resonated with you. I hope it made sense. I hope that you'll seek advice from within and meditate, pray. You can contact me further and we can see what else we can do, what other remedies we can come up with if this reading resonated with you in any way. So, I look forward to hearing from you soon, and I'm going to pray that everything works out in your favor. It seems like you're a nice person, and you just got a little sidetracked along the way. But at the end of the day, everything's going to be fine. This is balance, right? And this is the sun, okay? It's about a balanced judgment, and things are going to work out favorably for you. So, I'll be speaking to you soon, and I hope it was helpful. All right? Take care and be well. Peace.